guys, and welcome to my birth plan video. This is one of the only videos that I've made where I didn't write anything down ahead of time. I kind of wanted it to be just honest and how I really feel about what my birth is going to be like and what I hope it's going to be like. My birth with my older son, you can check out his birth story up here, did not go to plan. I was still really happy with how everything went, but it makes me a little bit more, I don't know, cautious with getting my hopes up, I guess, this time. Let's start with where I'm delivering. I am delivering at a hospital, but it's almost more like a birth center. Kind of like if a birth center was in a hospital. The rooms are big and spacious and kind of leaning more towards a hotel room than a hospital room, which I'm really looking forward to. One of the main reasons I picked this hospital is that you stay in the same room from intake until you leave. There's no like recovery room, there's no postpartum room. That is where you are. And I love that because with Lincoln, our delivery room was great. We enjoyed that room. And then the room we were in after he was born was like tiny and cramped, and the lighting wasn't very good, and it just was not as comfortable for Matt, and that's when you have the most people visiting you. So that was one of my big things, was that either the recovery room was the same or it was at least a decent size. We have requested to have a room with a jetted tub. The hospital I'm delivering at has 9 birthing rooms and 7 of them have tubs. 2 of them have jetted tubs. And they average 2 deliveries a day, and usually people only stay 1 to 2 nights. So it just depends on the luck of who was there before you, if they wanted a jetted tub, whatever. So hopefully we get one of those, because I am planning on using water for pain relief during labor. I did not get to do that. Kitty potty break.
You done?
I did not get to be in the water at all for my birth with Lincoln because I was on Pitocin, and they didn't have like waterproof IVs or anything like that, so could not be in the water. But I think that could have made a big difference for me. So I'm looking forward to trying that this time. We have also requested a room with a hookup for a birth sling. I had never heard of these before until our birth class. We took a natural comforts birth class, and last time when I was like in really intense contractions, all I wanted to do was like hang my body off of Matt. Poor guy. So his back was killing him after my labor. But with the birth sling, I should be able to put most of my weight on that instead of him. So it's really going to save his back. Again, we'll see if I get a room that actually has the hookup. But they do have rooms that have the hookup for the birth sling and the jetted tub. So hopefully we get one of those. I am going to be attempting a natural birth with no epidural. However, my hospital offers nitrous oxide or laughing gas. So I am planning on taking advantage of that when things get really rough. Like, I think when I'm at the point when I'm like, oh, I need an epidural, then if I can just have some laughing gas to get me through that little tough portion, if I can have some laughing gas to help me get through that portion, then everything will be fine. And the laughing gas is a great option because it doesn't transfer to your baby. Like, the effects go away as soon as you stop using it. So you basically just breathe in the mask during a contraction, and then when you're done with the contraction, you stop breathing in and the effects go away. So that's really awesome. Hoping to use that. If I do have to be induced, I am planning on getting an epidural. Just like, I know that some doctors think that Pitocin contractions are the same as normal contractions. I just don't think that's true, because when I was induced with Lincoln, my labor was so long, and I got an epidural after 12 hours of Pitocin. And yes, it could go faster this time just by virtue of being my second baby, but I just After my experience with Lincoln, if I'm induced, I would rather have an epidural. But I'm trying to avoid an epidural because I don't want to tear, I don't want to make my bladder prolapse any worse, and an epidural increases your chances of both of those things. So, really trying to avoid being induced this time. That's the main goal. I was 10 days late when I was born. Lincoln was 10 days late and he was induced. So, we'll just have to see. I really, really, really don't want to be induced. And I think that's one of the reasons that I'm driving myself insane, thinking everything is labor, trying to get labor going. Even though I was happy with how everything turned out with Lincoln, it's not like how I would want it to happen again. So, hopefully we won't have to be induced. As far as after the birth goes, I am planning on Lincoln getting all of the normal newborn testing and shots and eye goop and everything like that. The eye goop is the only thing that I would consider declining, but it really was not a big deal. Like, I had read some things about, oh, it can affect bonding and blah blah. I really don't think that's a problem. But I think all the other newborn tests and shots are super important, so we will be doing all of those. The one thing that I was really disappointed with in my first birth was that we did not get delayed cord clamping. So that's something that I'm really planning on fighting for this time, because why would you want to deny them like a significant portion of their blood supply? That seems so dumb, especially if you're concerned about iron at all. Then give them their freaking blood. And as far as all the midwives have told me, this hospital, delayed cord clamping for at least a minute is totally the norm. It's not like out of the range of expectations to ask for delayed cord clamping. So I'm excited about that because hopefully that will be respected this time. And then with Lincoln, we came home after just one night in the hospital. This time, I'm thinking if the room is comfortable and everything's good, I would like to spend 2 nights in the hospital. That's largely because our first night home with Lincoln, his second night of being born, was awful. And a lot of that was because we didn't fill my pain meds, and that was really dumb. But it depends on what time of day he's born. Like, if he's born in the morning, then we'll probably just spend 1 night. If he's born at night, like Lincoln was, we'll be there 2 nights, I predict. And that's kind of funny because with Lincoln, we were just like, let's get out of the hospital, let's get out of here, let's get out of here. Like, as soon as that 24-hour tests were done, we were peacing out. This time I would just rather have a little bit more support for a little bit longer. And Lincoln's gonna be at Matt's parents' house, so that shouldn't be too big of a problem. Other techniques I'm going to use to get through this labor naturally, we are bringing an essential oil diffuser with lavender essential oil. I am usually not an essential oil person, like at all. I think they smell nice, and that's about it. But lavender has been known for quite a while to be relaxing, and I do think it smells nice. So I'm planning on using lavender to try and help me relax. I think that was one of the issues I had with Lincoln as far as dilating goes, was that I could not relax during contractions. So trying to do as many relaxing things as possible. Another thing that helped me a lot with Lincoln was a heat pack. Oh my gosh, it felt so good on my back during contractions. It was incredible. Highly recommend trying a heat pack. We have one that's like just fabric filled with rice. Once I got an epidural, the nurses didn't want to let us do it anymore because I couldn't feel it, but I could feel it, and it still felt really nice, and like you can feel it with your hands that it's not too hot. So they just had Matt heated up after that point, and we just kind of hid that we were doing it. Another interesting technique that they talked about at our birth class that I had not heard before was to bring a comb, just like a normal hair comb, and then like squeeze it in your hand during contractions, just to kind of like give you an additional stimulus that distracts you from the contraction. And knowing myself, that feels like something that would work really well for me, so we're also bringing a comb. We'll see if it helps or not. So that's my birth plan. I'm not like bringing a whole packet to show the nurses and blah blah blah, because last time they just pretty much ignored it and didn't read it. But I know what I want, and my husband knows what I want, and that's what's super important. So trying to not be induced, trying for no epidural, and I really think I can do it as long as I'm not induced. So keep me in your thoughts, because it would be really nice if this little boy's labor could be easier than Lincoln's. So thank you guys so much for watching. Be sure to hit that subscribe button down below if you want to see what this baby looks like when he finally does decide to pop out. And hopefully that will be sooner than later. Thanks again. Bye!